I recently just renewed my Nigerian passport, and most times when I tell anybody about it, they have questions to ask. So of course, I thought to bring you guys all the tea, so to let you know the things you need to do, the entire process of applying for a passport renewal, or maybe even for a new one in Nigeria. So yeah, that's what this video is about. As much as when I did mine, it took me longer than it should have, and I've learned my lessons, and I want you to learn from my experience also, and my mistakes and the things that I didn't know before I went into the process. So that is why I'm bringing you this video. I'm going to come to you from the angle of passport renewal, because of course I renewed my own passport, but it's basically almost the same thing. It will take you double the time to get a new passport as opposed to renewal. So but I'm just going to still, as much as possible, give you information on if you were going to get your passport anew or if you were renewing. There are two ways to do it. You can either go there physically to start your application, or you can start your application online. Whichever one you want to do is up to you. I will personally advise you to apply online. I think it's cheaper. I did mine for 25,000 naira. It's cheaper. If you go to the office, if you go to their office, if you go to like any Nigerian immigration office, I did mine in Alausa, Ikeja. I know in Lagos there's also the Ikoyi office. Apart from the fact that some of the officers would want to force you to let them be your agent, kind of, and then you're going to pay them extra. My brother did this. He went to Ibadan to get his passport done, because Lagos is supposed to be more crowded, and so it might take you a longer time. However, it still took him a very long time. He paid extra. Yeah, so trust me that when I'm telling you that I would advise that you start your application online. It's cheaper. You're paying online. You're not going through any hassle of paying an agent, and then you don't need any agent. You can do this yourself. I can't remember who it was that told me that I could start an application online. I think I saw it on Twitter when just when they released a list of passports that were ready, like backlog, because at the point they paused passport application, so you couldn't apply. So around that time, when they were going to reopen it, they then posted they mentioned that there was like a backlog of passports that were ready that people could come and collect. So that was when I knew about the whole applying online and all of that. So I actually just googled Nigerian Immigration Service or something like that, and I got their website and I applied. But I'm going to leave the website in the description box below, so you can just click on it, start your application. It's very easy, very easy. So you're going to fill in your details. So it's like a page or two pages long form. So your name, if you had a passport before, just basically your details: name, address, next of kin, phone number, email address, just all of that, right? And then once you're done with the application, once you're done with that form, you then proceed to make your payment. Like I said, you're making your payment online also, so you just use your ATM card, make your payment. You'd get a receipt, I think an acknowledgement form. To take you about 30 minutes to 1 hour. If you have it, less than really, if you have an ATM card at hand. All you're just doing is inputting your details, fill the form, make your payment, then print out every single document that you would have. So the application form, there's an acknowledgement form, and then a receipt. Print those out. For me, also on there, once you're printing, there will be an interview date. Disregard it. I didn't disregard it. I followed it. I had to wait. I think the interview date that was on it was for like three or 4 weeks after the date. Apparently, it was when I went to their office on my interview date, that I realized that I could have actually come there immediately I was done with the payment. So again, disregard that interview date. Just go there, go to the immigration service the next day, tender your your forms, they would ask you for, if you are renewing, of course you have to also have a copy of your old passport, of your passport page, but you also need to go with the original, or with the passport, also the old one, the expired one, or the one that is expiring, because they will need to that's one of the things that they're validating for that interview. They would ask you for a list of things. There was a letter that they asked me to write, yeah, so, and then print, and then I needed, like I said, a copy of my old passport page. However, when I went to one of the photocopy where I needed to photocopy, the guy already had like a draft of the letter, so he just changed my name, he just changed the name, changed the passport number, and that was it. He just printed it, and I think I signed and I gave it to them. So they will just, the process is very, very easy. Once you've then filled out your form, they will ask you, one of the things that they will also ask you for would be your NIN number, your NIN, national identification number, and they will need to cross-check that. So they will need to validate that. One of the things I noticed was, for some people, especially people that just recently got their NIN, it was taking long for them to validate, but they were able to validate mine immediately. And then they put all my documents in a file with the letter. So the interview, the acknowledge they also gave me a form to fill, which was basically the same form that I filled online, and I saw no point to it, but I mean, I couldn't complain. I filled it. So they put everything, all my documents, in a file, in a folder, and then I had to go into an office to speak to someone. So that was the interview process. So this is basically what the interview dates that they would have written for, given you online. Again, disregard the interview. They just go there, they'll give you a form to fill, you just go through what I've just described, and then the interview is basically just what the woman just did was just look at the documents in the folder, check my passport, and then she just stamped and signed, and she told me to go. I actually went with the thought that was the day I was going to capture, because I mean, what are you validating again? You guys were the ones that gave me my first passport, so why am I having to come back? So I didn't expect that I was going to go through an interview and then not capture that day. Apparently that's the process. The interview is for the woman to validate, so they will validate your NIN, like I said. So you won't be able to go to the next step, to the interview step, if your NIN is not validated. So I was able to go because, like I said, my NIN was validated quickly, and I saw the woman. She asked me all the questions that she needed. I don't even think she asked me anything. I can't even remember if she asked me anything. I honestly can't. And so she just wrote down something like, she just wrote down her name on my folder and stamped, and then told me and then she mentioned I was going to get a text message to come back for my capturing. And I was like, okay, so when will I get it? She said in 3 to 5 working days. I was like, okay, so what happens if I don't get it in 3 to 5 working days? She said I can then come back. No problem. I gave them 10 working days because I didn't want to hear any stories of I'll go and then they'll ask me to come back. I didn't want that. So I gave them 10 working days, went back. When I got there, I was like, okay, so I was here 2 weeks ago. Of course, I was here 2 weeks ago. I was told I'll get a text message, but I didn't. So the officer wrote down my name and yeah, told me to wait. So I waited. I'm just skipping all the stress that it made me go through. It wasn't really a lot of stress. I literally just sat there. I was working, so I had my laptop with me, so I wasn't really bothered. And to be honest, I was ready for their stress. My plan was, whatever it is that I want me to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get I'm going to get my pictures. I'm going to do my capturing today, and I'm not going to have to, like, nobody's going to stress me. And all over their offices, you would see different posters that indicate that renewals would take only 3 weeks, like your passport will be ready in 3 weeks, of course after your capturing. And then if you were applying for your new passport, your passport will be ready in 6 weeks. This is why I say it will take twice the time that it took, it will take twice the time to get a new passport that it will take you to renew your passport you get. So let's go back. The let's say you apply on the 1st of October. Let's say you apply online, of course. Apply online on the 1st of October, make your payment, then you go on the 2nd of October for the interview to, of course, get your application started in quotes, because like I said, they'll give you exactly the same form that you filled online to fill again. So that's day 2, right? Then you get your interview done that day also. Then they tell you to come back after 5 days. That's basically the next week. So 1 week is gone. After the 5 days, you go back, assuming you maybe even get the text message, because some people got text messages to come back for their capturing, or you don't, you still can go back after 5 days, 5 working days, I guess, and then you get your capturing done. So that's the day that we are on now. So we are on the 2nd week, day 8 at this point. So on the day of capturing, like I said, when I told the woman I didn't get a text message, she wrote down my name, then searched for my folder, then they called out my name. I went over, she gave it to me, told me to go upstairs. Remember I said that this is the Alausa office in Ikeja, Lagos. Went upstairs, and then I gave my file to another officer, who then wrote a number on it. I think I was number 79 for that day. Okay, so for capturing, of course. So he wrote the number on it, and then gave me my file, and then we had to sit according to our number. So of course you ask for the last person, and then I cross-checked the person's number. It was 78, so I was okay. So I sat down, and then we moved it like that. We kept on moving. They would come, call 3 people in, call like another 4 people in, and then I got my capturing done. Beautiful picture. So I got my capturing done, and then 3 weeks later I went back. My passport was ready. After getting my capturing done, they will give you a paper, a printout. So you're supposed to come with that printout, and then you put it in a box where they will then take everything to go and search for your passport, I guess. And then they will call you. Once they find your passport, they will call you in. So because I was renewing, I still had to go with the old passport, because they would need to cancel it. There was something that there was a stamp on it, just to, like, yeah, I think it was cancel, just to deactivate, even if deactivate is not for a lack of a better phrase. Yeah, so they will need to deactivate the old passport, and then I gave me my new one signed, and I was out. Basically it. So roughly 4 weeks. Let's say the first week is for prep. If by any luck you get the text message in 3 days or in less than 5 days, you're basically going to get your passport in a month. So like I said, disregard if there's anything I just want to keep saying, is disregard that interview date, because that was what made mine longer, because I waited for the interview dates on the printout after I did my application online. I could have gone the next day, and all of this that I said would have just taken me exactly 4 weeks to get my passport out. So there you have it. Okay. Those applying newly, I think the only difference is, so you can also apply online. The documents that you would need to provide, so I think like birth certificate, there's a guarantor's form or something like that, but all this information is on their website. Like I said, check the description box for the link, so just click on it. But to be honest, they are very organized. There's a process to it, so it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and like they are very, very, very organized. There's yeah, so like I said, my passport was out in 3 weeks, so it's quite easy. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. I would always respond. I mean, I would respond. So if you need any help in the sense that maybe you're on the website and something is not, you're not understanding it, you can leave a comment, because that's all the help I can provide. I didn't use anybody, I didn't pay anybody any extra fees. I paid 27,000 in total, because of bank charges and something else. There was something else, a processing fee, which is understandable, but which made it about 27,000 naira online. So all the help I can give would be if you have any questions on how to navigate their website. Yeah, so that's it, I guess. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. This one, I mean, share please, because a lot of people, I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because I know that a lot of people have questions about passport renewal or applying for a new passport, and most of us don't talk about it as much as as much. I mean, before I went, if not that I saw a tweet on Twitter, I probably would have not renewed when I did, because I would have been looking for, do you know anybody? If I actually was looking for if any of my friends knew anyone in Alausa, Ikeja, immigration office, so that I'll just go there and then they will just help me through the entire process. But like I said, you can get it done by yourself. It's quite seamless. They are organized, even though they might want to stretch you a little bit, but they are organized, to be honest. I can't, but of course it's military, so they are organized, they know what they're doing. And if you have all your documents right, if you're, like I said, the other thing that can delay you might be your NIN validation, but if you have all of that set, you're going to get your passport out in 4 weeks, 5 week stops. Or I mean, that's if you're renewing. If you were, so let's just add 3 weeks to that, so 8 weeks stops for if you're getting your passport for the first time. So again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below. So let me know if this video helps, and if you have any questions, please ask.